All right, family. We black again. We black again. Once again, it's the Truth Hour with General Sarasu and Seti. Kick back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. That's right, family. Is going down this Sunday. We coming right on in on Easter Sunday. We know no better time. A heightened sense of awareness, a heightened sense of awareness on Easter Sunday. Everybody is open, and so you should be ready to receive wisdom and knowledge on that day. America is Egypt, Mississippi River versus the Nile debunked. We starting at 2 p.m. It's gonna be fire, fire, fire. Cannot be duplicated at all. Cannot be duplicated at all. You see? And so we want you in the house. We want you to click that link. Matter of fact, is it in there? Let me make sure it's in there. Let me make sure it's in there. Bingo. There we go. There we go. We in the house. So click that link, begin to think. Don't hesitate to elevate. That's right, family. Let me get in. All right, ring the alarm, kingseti.com. Bingo. Bingo. Let me get in there. kingseti.com online marketplace. You already know we got 20% off at this time. We got 20% off at this time. Save before you shop. We got a lot of beautiful products that we know you're going to like and love. We got the Classic and Jurassic DVD lectures, T-shirts and hoodies for the kings and queens. We got African and Kemetic jewelry, fly, medallions, talismans for you, Pharaoh head, obas. We got the sisters with the head wrap medallions. We got the ongs, Naga Kush. We got you, family. Come on over there and check us out. Holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house. That's right. KingSeti.com, 20% off at this time. Pull the fire alarm. GeneralSeti.com, SETI University, over 900. Did you hear what I said? 900 video presentations on African history, heritage, spirituality, nation building, mental warfare, advanced African academics, developing the Black nation one lesson at a time. The complete General Sarasun Seti website. We also got the band Too Raw for YouTube, band videos. Y'all already know. That's how we do. General Seti popping on Patreon, BPC making noise. We never come. Exclusive live stream. Too hot to handle on YouTube. Just drop Lilith, Queen of Hell, Chief Goddess of the White World, the Holy Waters of Creation, the African Serpent and Mermaid Goddess, and also General Seti's Dictionary of Alchemy and Occult keywords relating to Black divinity. And so you should get on over there and get that work. It's waiting on you. We got previous works, evidence of the modern troglodyte. I know you like that. I know you on that truth and knowledge of what's going on this planet. And so you should run over there right now and unlock that treasure chest. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, King Seti, General Seti, Sarasu and Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends, and comment. Just don't say nothing stupid, because I will ban your ass. You'll be up out of there. All right? And I don't want to do it to you. Don't make me. All right. The Bible tells on itself. Africa is millions of years older. I had to come with the truth on them. Yeah, we breaking them off. It's their holiday now. You got to get them. You got to zoom in on them and let them know it's a heightened heightened sense of awareness at this time. And since it's a heightened sense of awareness, we got to move in. We got to come in with some truth. You see, we got to come in with some truth so that it could register while you're open. Okay, so how does the Bible tell on itself? How does it prove that Africa is millions of years older? And I put that in there. That might be a big number, but I was proving a point. It does slip up. and tell on itself and prove that Africa, at the minimum, is hundreds of thousands of years older than the Bible. At the minimum, hundreds of thousands of years older than anything conceived in the Bible. Now, how do you prove that, Sadie? Let me go to work now. You know, I got to alley-oop it to myself, catch it off the backboard and tear the damn rim out the backboard. You know I'm going to do it. Okay. Let me do it. Let me go to work. That's that sinister laugh when you know damn well you about to go to work. Like, yeah, how dare you? How dare you? You feel? How dare you even think that you can deal with me? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Now, what I got up here, family, is the resume. The resume, some may consider the greatest prophet of the Old Testament. None other than Moses himself. That's right. None other than Moses himself. And so, what's significant about Moses? We got to understand what's significant about Moses. Let me put him up there. Yeah, let me go and put him up there. See, right here, they got Moses up there, and he got the goddamn Roman numerals on the damn 10 Commandments. Ain't even supposed to be no Rome at that time. And Moses lived. I say, these are some silly motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? You know, Moses supposedly lived around 1200 BC, right around the 18th dynasty of Egypt. And they ain't even no damn Rome yet. Ain't even no damn Rome, and they got Roman numerals on the 10 Commandments. You know how they line on. They just making up shit as they go. You understand what I'm saying? They just making up shit as they go. And so you see where they got the tablets from. Do you see where they got the tablets from? They got the tablets right on out of ancient Egypt. See, we got to tell the truth today. So when you look at the two cartouches side by side, and then you can get the Stellar too. You get the Stellar too, but that's your 10 Commandments. This is where they thieving and they stealing and so on and so forth. You see, and you sit up there and you see this man up there on there with them tablets. You see the Jewish fake, and then you got the original, the African original. You see? And so what we got to understand is that it's Moses. It's Moses who was supposedly the author of the first 5 books of the Bible. That right? The first 5 books of the Bible is supposedly authored by Moses. Wait a minute, what does it say? Let me go in here. Let me read this. Let me read this. Oh, let me get that in. I already know which one it is. This is it. Here you go, right here. Acts 7:22. And Moses was instructed, learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. And he was mighty in words and in deeds. Moses was instructed, educated in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. And he was mighty in words and in deeds. That's very powerful. Now, let's ask ourselves a very serious question. What impact did having an education in Egypt like that, you see, what kind of impact did that have on the Israelite people as a whole? You see, let's look at it. Number one, There was not one literate. And I want any biblical scholar out there anywhere, if you could call in at any given time, if you want to meet up on the internet at any given time, you got to be of note. You got to be a note, because if I get a chance to ragdoll somebody, it got to be somebody a note. You know, I like big medals on my chest. I don't go and debate little vagabonds. I don't do that. You got to be big. You got to be a big reverend. You got to be a big priest. You see, you got to be somebody big so I can get some big medals on my chest. I don't debate little dusties. Don't do that. I don't do that. You see, got to be worried. I like glory. I want to bring my people. You know what I'm saying? And when I come down, I want to hold his head up, and I want my people to scream. They say, "Yes, you're the champ." You see, so I can only do that with big scholars. So any big scholar out there that want this work, please call me. And I won't cuss. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be the same outcome, because I don't need to do it to still get the outcome that I need. You see? And so what is the impact that the education that Moses got in Egypt? What was that impact on the Israelites? Number one, there was no literate. Okay, let me stress this to you. There was not one literate Hebrew before Moses able to read and to write, because it is Moses. When you look up Genesis, well, I want you to look it up. Let me get a Genesis. Okay, here we go. I like this. I'm gonna just drop it in. I'm gonna just drop it in for y'all so we can operate. See, here it is. Let me drop it in for you. Let me see if they're gonna, let me put them in here for you so I'll bring it up to you as soon as I get it in here. Here it is. I'll put this one in. Good. I'll put that one in there. See if they let me get it. Okay, they let me got it. All right. They let me got it. I don't know what the hell I was saying. Okay. Let me get Exodus in there. I need to operate. I need to operate. Second. There you go. Let me see. Let me get the second one in there, and then I'm going to operate. Oh, they got both of them. Good. I love it. They're right on time. Got both of them. Okay, good. Yeah. Let's operate. Let's operate. And I'm going to prove it to you. Remember when you saw this. Okay, family? Remember where you saw this. I don't want you to hesitate. Okay. To my family out here, we got to, now listen to me now. Listen to me. Because we see right here, you say Genesis, the first book of Moses. I asked you the question because we just read that Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. You see? And I'm asking you, what kind of impact did that have on the Israelites as a nation? Number one, they never had no books. Number one. This is critical. This is very critical, especially to all these book niggas out there. Everybody got a book, whether it's the Old Testament, whether it's the New Testament, whether it's the Quran, a bunch of book niggas. But we have to understand that even when you say Bible, which come out of the root, biblos, which is papyrus, that's what it means. It means papyrus. Biblos means papyrus. Okay? And so when we're talking about literature, when we're talking about books, the Africans, the Egyptians, invented paper. Okay? So we know we know you didn't have no books. I don't care where you at on the planet. It was the Africans that invented books, invented paper. When you talk about the root, the etymology of paper is rooted in papyrus. Even page is rooted. The etymology of page comes out of papyrus. So you wasn't turning no pages, or you didn't have no paper until the Africans brought that into existence. And that's why most people say, "Oh well, we were writing on sheep skins and all." We ain't writing on no goddamn sheep skins today. You see, they wasn't writing on shit. They didn't have no damn alphabet. They didn't have no damn alphabet. Well, you know what? You know what? Let the Israelites do what we gonna bang their ass into oblivion. You understand what I'm saying? That's all we had to do is stand on the truth. So understandably that proves right there with Moses that they didn't have. If Moses hadn't gotten, so we asked the question, what type? They got books. They was able to understand what paper was and this, that, and the third. And so in that aspects. But now look, it says the first book of Moses, Genesis, the second book of Moses, Exodus. Now see, that right there, I'm going to refute. I'm going to refute that in all truth and honesty. I'm going to refute that right now. That Genesis is not the first book of the Bible. You see, it's not the first book. Exodus is the first book of the Bible. What's up, Jay Black Power? You see, Exodus is the first book of the Bible, not Genesis. People say, what is Seti talking about? Okay, let's prove this. Let's prove this, that Exodus is the first book of the Bible. And in doing that, I'm going to show you how the Bible tells on itself Africa is millions of years older. All right, Black Power. Let's do this. Number one, let's go back up here to Acts 7. And it's no different. I can go in the Old Testament too, but I like the fact that Acts 7 has a resume of the life of Moses. So if you want to go to Acts 7, you can start around Acts 7:22 and read on down. It'll get a life of Moses. Now, even in the Old Testament, it states that Moses lives to be 120 years old. Okay? Moses lives to be 120 years old. And so what Acts 7 do for you, it breaks his life down into 3 40-year periods. 3 40-year periods. And I know that looked like an okay sign, but my fingers is so damn fat that I can't goddamn put no other fingers up. So it's easier to do it that way. I want to say, oh, the niggas be up there saying, Seti's a Mason and shit. No, I'm just trying to put 3 fingers up. Okay, so I don't want nobody to say this nigga got the okay sign. No, I don't, nigga. I'm just my finger. I can't do it the other way. You understand what I'm saying? My goddamn finger's too fat and stubby for that shit. I can't even bend them motherfuckers to get them up there to do 3. You see what I'm saying? And so when so Acts 7 breaks Moses' life down into 3 40-year periods. He lived to be 120 years old. Now, when you go to Acts 7 and you go to verse 23, it says, and when he was a full 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. Now, you got to understand, this man was 40 fucking years old before he knew anything about an Israelite. Now, you 40 years old, you didn't live as an African. You didn't live as an Egyptian. You didn't worship as an Egyptian. Let's not be confused about that. He worshiped African gods. was in the temples. If he was learned, the only place that you could learn was in the temple. Was you learned that you was educated by the priest. The only way you could get an education, and you had to go through the priesthood. That's the only way. So that was a part of the education to know the spirituality. You see, that's the truth. So he got science and he got arts, and you see, he got astronomy, he got spirituality, he got all of that. You see, he got an alphabet because the Hebrews didn't have no alphabet. They still ain't got one. When you go into the Bible, it says it's the language of Canaan. It didn't never say Hebrew. It says the language of Canaan. So they didn't even have a language. You see, so he was a full 40 years old, had been educated in Africa for over 40 years in all science, religion, spirituality, arts, medicine, and so on and so forth. And so this is when it came into his heart. Now, it don't say what caused him to believe after all them goddamn years how he was an Israelite. It don't say. It don't say. It just say the motherfucker just, and it came into his heart. Now everybody, now they got other books where they try to clean it up, but they just don't say in the Torah how that came to happen. How did he come to understand that he was an Israelite? Okay, now in Acts 7:30, you see, now you have to understand this is the first author of the Bible who wrote the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers. I don't know if it's in that damn order or not, but those are the 5 books of Moses: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers. Okay? All 5 of them, supposedly. Okay, and now when he was a full 40 years, when full 40 years were expired, there appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai an angel of the Lord in a flame of fire in a bush. So if you ever watch the movie of the 10 Commandments, and you see and you hear the voice, you know, that old Cecil B. DeMille's 10 Commandments. You see, and he was out there, and it said, he said, and you hear a voice say, Moses. They say 7 books. It's only, what 7 books? There's only 5 in the Torah. Yeah, I know which ones you talking about, the 7 books, but that's Kabbalism. You understand what I'm saying? That's Kabbalism. You know what I'm saying? Them is occult literature. That's occult books. You see, but you can add it on. It don't make no difference to me. All of it is occult to me. You see what I'm saying? And so you know, so this is when he gets his calling. You see, this is when he gets his calling. So when he's a full 40 years old, now at this point he 80. You see, so when he gets his calling at the burning bush, he's 80 years old. You see, and the reason why I want y'all to understand something, because he's the author of the first 5 books of the Bible. Yeah. He's the author of the first 5 books of the Bible. And in Genesis, it got all the creation story and all of this. You see, the Adam and Eve and Noah and the flood and all the sons of Noah, Ham, Shem, Japheth, Jacob, Israel, the 12 tribes. All of that is in Genesis. Yeah. And so it's significant. And so what we're doing is we are showing you how Moses' life developed. You see what I'm saying? So we can truly put these books in chronological order. You cannot put the books in chronological order until you put the life of Moses, the author, in chronological order. And I don't want you to misunderstand me. You cannot put the books before the author, because let me tell you something. Adam never wrote a book. Okay? So you see, a lot of people will go in Genesis and they will try to put Adam before Moses. Adam never wrote a book. If you was depending on Adam to write and teach people about what went on in Genesis, you would have never got that. You wouldn't have never got that story because Adam never wrote a book. You see, Adam never wrote a book. Noah never wrote a book. It never said God ordained him to write a book. So if you was depending on Noah to tell the world about the flood and all, you wouldn't have never knew about it because Noah never wrote a book. Abraham never wrote a book. You see, he never wrote a book. So if you was depending on Abraham to teach you about Genesis, you wouldn't have never known about it because Abraham never wrote a book. It was Moses that wrote Genesis and relayed the information to you about the creation story, about Adam and Eve, about Noah, about Abraham. It was Moses, not none of them. They never existed. They were never attributed to writing any books. And so that's the significance of Moses. He was their author. He was the one that brought the Israelites, the Hebrew people, into the literary world. Without Moses, they are not literate. They don't exist in literature. I want y'all to understand that. They do not exist in literature. It is with Moses that they come into the literary world. And so to understand, you can't, and don't try to put Adam into none of them before Moses. Moses is their primary author. We understand that he's a mythological character. But yet at the same time, you cannot get away from the story as it is told in the book, that he is the author of those books. Okay, and so again, we're gonna track him down. We're gonna track the origin of this book, and we're gonna track the origin of Moses. Now let's get back into this, because he lives to be 120 years old, and we are already at the burning bush, right? He's already 80 years old, and we ain't even heard about no books. You see? We ain't heard about no books. And then when you read Acts 7:36, it says he brought them out. After that, he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and in the wilderness for 40 years. So you have his first 40 years. He kills Pharaoh's soldier because it come into his heart that he's an Israelite. He kills Pharaoh's soldier. He's 40 years old. And then God calls on Moses at the burning bush. He's 80 years old. He received the Decalogue, the 10 Commandments, and the ordinances in the last 40 years of his life. He receives the Decalogue and the ordinances of the Israelites in the last 40 years of his life. Now let's see some things. Let's see some things. So let's put these pictures so you can get a clearer understanding. Okay, let's put these pictures together so you can get a clear understanding of what I'm talking about. You see? So once we understand he didn't receive the ordinances, this is how I'm proving to you that Exodus is the first book of the Bible. Okay, this is how I'm proving to you that Exodus, not Genesis. See, not Genesis, Exodus is the first book of the Bible. Don't let because it precedes, is because of the dating inside of Genesis. It gives the allure that it is older than Exodus because it says in the beginning. And people say, oh, okay, and that don't mean it was written first. Motherfucker, I can write some shit right now and say, and I can start my shit off right now in the beginning. God created the heavens and the earth. Motherfucker, it's goddamn April 5th, nigga, 2023. What the fuck difference do it make? Okay, y'all don't know how to write a story. Have y'all ever went to English Lit and they give you the structure of a story? You got to have a setting. You have to have a setting. You see, you're going to start your story in the past, the present, or the future. And so if you write a story in goddamn in the past and you say, goddamn it, this story takes place 5,000 BC, that don't mean that's when you wrote the motherfucker. Y'all got to quit tripping. Hey, motherfuckers, y'all fall all in the damn, all the motherfuckers got to say, oh man, this shit was written 10,000 BC. Man, that nigga wrote that shit yesterday. The fuck is y'all talking? Where's the publishing date on this shit? You see? And so y'all get into the allure that Genesis is old. It's not older. Okay, I just want y'all to understand that. Okay, I just want y'all to understand that. And so when you start putting some visuals to it, you see, and when he was a full 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. See, you have to understand this is Exodus. See, this is Exodus. We in Exodus. When you open it, and this is before you see, those are white people. I don't want you to expect that's the truth of the matter. But we're showing you they pulling Moses out of the Nile River. You see, you look back there, you see all type of pyramids and shit. Ain't no books. He don't receive the Decalogue and all of that into the last 40 years of his life. So when you see and open up Exodus and it shows that Moses is flow, there is no fucking Genesis. Ain't no book ever been wrote called no fucking Genesis with no Noah, no Adam and no Eve. None of that. None of that. It don't exist. So when you see him in there, he's in there on them walls. He's in there on them walls getting an education in religion and spirituality. You see, ain't no Bible yet. See, ain't no Bible yet. We put this in chronological order so you can see. So when Exodus opened up, and that's the first book. Exodus is the first because it shows Moses prior to him getting the books. It shows the life of Moses prior to him getting the books. You see? You see? And so here, and it says here, and when he was a full 40 years old, when full 40 years were expired, there appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai an angel of the Lord. He's 80 years old. He still ain't got no books yet. They ain't got no books. This is in Exodus, though. This is showing, see, Exodus, and even though I use Acts, it was a quicker way of me, because they had and it tells the same story. It tells the same story. Ain't nothing different. Ain't nothing different. You see, ain't nothing different. And so you see here at the burning bush, he's 80 years old. Ain't no Decalogue, ain't no 10 Commandments, ain't none of that. They don't receive that until they leave Egypt. You see? And so he's 80 years old. They still ain't got no book. This is in Exodus, though. You see? So ain't no Genesis came before Exodus. And then when you get to, it says, and he brought them out. After this is 36, and he brought them out. After that, he showed signs and wonders in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and in the wilderness for 40 years, the last 40 years. And that is where Moses received the Decalogue and the ordinances. See, in the last 40-year period of his life, Exodus opens up with Moses as a baby on the Nile River. You cannot put the books before Moses. He is the author of the books. Fool. And when you look back there, it shows that Egypt was already in high civilization before the mention of any Israelite people anywhere on the planet. Because nobody ever known. See, the question becomes, how would you know of Adam, Eve, Noah, Shem, Ham, if it wasn't for the book? Huh? How would you know of any of those characters if it wasn't for the book? So that's how powerful the book is, because there's no way that you would know any of that if it wasn't for the book. So I don't want y'all to confuse how powerful the book is and how necessary the book is. But now, once you put Exodus before any other book, you will see that Africa precedes the Bible by hundreds of thousands of years. Egypt is already full of megalithic structures before the birth of Moses. And don't try to get Genesis and say, oh, in Genesis. No, you cannot use Genesis until Moses write the book. And no one else outside of Moses ever wrote a book talking about an Adam, or Eve, or Noah, or none of that. So it ain't like you could go to another book and say, well, if we didn't read it here, then we would have read it over here. You don't find no mention of any of those characters outside of the book. So it is clear that Moses is the most important person of the Bible, that the literary world of the Israelites start with Moses, and it does not start previous to Moses. And so when you go into Exodus, see, Exodus opens up with the birth of Moses. Moses as a child, long before he receives the books. Okay, so you cannot start in Genesis. You must start in Exodus. You must start in Exodus, family. You must start in Exodus. And that will unlock the truth that Africa is hundreds of thousands of years in documentation older than the Bible. It cannot be refuted. It cannot be refuted. All right. They say what they say. They are mentioned in Corinthians. What does brother say? What are you talking about, brother? What's mentioned in Corinthians? Bring it up to me. I need to know. They are mentioned in 1 Corinthians. Who is that mentioned? I see EC down there. What you talking about, brother? He just said in the beginning. It ain't no different than you writing in the beginning. He ain't no further. He ain't no closer to the beginning than me or you. Okay? He ain't no closer to the beginning than me and you. That's how far from the beginning he was. Even if he lived at 1200 BC, you understand? Say Adam. What about Corinthians? Corinthians ain't before the Torah. So what does that mean? What is Corinthians? What is Corinthians? Corinthians ain't before the Torah. Where is that at? So what is you saying? I don't understand what that means. You hear Adam and Corinthians. We're talking about in chronological order that Corinthians is not older than the Torah. I didn't understand that one. Okay. All right, family. I think we done shook up We done shook up some brain cells out there and shit. Motherfucker, like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Cannot compute. You get okay. I see you. I see. Okay, that's all I was saying, brother. I'm just poking fun at you. Just poking fun. Corinthians is not before Genesis, so even if you read it afterward, it does not. We're talking about in chronological order. Exodus is the first book, not Genesis. Moses is the first author, who brought the Israelites into the literary world, and there was no writers of any books that mention any of those characters, Adam, Noah, or none of that before Moses. And so Moses is the greatest character of the Bible. Shit, even over Jesus. Even over Jesus. Moses. And when you read in there, you see that part where, and I'm out of here, but I want y'all to see this. And when I read it, I had to think to myself, I say, damn, you know, wait a minute, people don't even read that. When he said, wait a minute, where is that at? I say, damn, man, they you know, and he loved Moses. There you go. Which one? Let me see which one that was. Yeah, right here. And I'm gonna read this to y'all so y'all can see this shit. Like, you know, this is, and I never heard him say, I never heard God speak about any other person in the Bible this way. Not one, not even Jesus. You see? Now listen to what he say. And I say, damn, he gave him that kind of credit. Exodus 7:125. And it says, and the Lord said to Moses, see, I have made you like God with a capital G. You see, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron shall be your prophet. I say, wow, that was powerful. I have never heard God speak that way about no mortal man outside of Moses, where he would with a capital G. See, I have made you like God, and we understand the power of God. You understand what I'm saying? And to be made like God. I say, damn, with a capital G. And Aaron will be your prophet. I say, wow. I'm gonna have to dig into that one a little deeper. I'm gonna have to dig into that one a little deeper. I think I'm coming back on that one. You understand what I'm saying? We'll be black on that one. We're gonna dig into that one a little deeper. All right, family. I see y'all out there. Y'all go on and meditate. Get that information. Look it over, family. Do some research. That's all I'm asking you. Do some research. Go over the video. Do some research. And if you can come back and you can prove me wrong, please come bring some literature. Now bring and get your package together when you come for me. And I'm if you're in academic mode, I'm gonna let you come. And we're gonna talk about it and I'll work you back into your senses. If you're out your senses, I'll work you back into your senses. Go over the information, do some research, and tell me what you think. This is the General Sabra Soon said. He's saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.